Hey everybody, Dak is back. I wanted to make a review of the film Welcome to Raccoon City to let you know how I felt about it. I also made a short video of the movie's story using only scenes from the trailers. After that I will then get into my review. Warning, there are major spoilers, so if you have not yet seen the movie but you plan to, then don't watch this video. If you enjoyed my video, then please help support my channel by liking and sharing this video, and if you'd like more content then please consider subscribing. Now let's get to it. Claire returns to Raccoon City to warn Chris that she's been communicating with a person who has warned her of a Chernobyl-level event. Chris doesn't believe her because she's had these crazy conspiracy theories since they were children in the Raccoon City orphanage where she actually saw Lisa Trevor. The STARS team, consisting of Albert Wesker, Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield, Richard Aiken, and helicopter pilot Brad Vickers, are in the STARS office. Chief Brian Irons informs the team that Bravo team, which was dispatched to investigate a body found in the Arklay Mountains, which was apparently Ian, has not checked in and he is going to send Alpha team in to find them. During this scene, Albert Wesker receives a message on his beeper that it's happening and to check his locker where he finds a tablet-sized computer with instructions and a map of the Spencer mansion. The team flies over the Arklay forest and locates Bravo team's upturned Jeep, which is empty, leading them to search the area, which inevitably brings them to the Spencer mansion. Wesker orders the team to split up. Chris and Richard find the first zombie, which shows us the incredible remake of the iconic first zombie scene in Resident Evil 1. Wesker and Jill find the bar room where Wesker plays the Moonlight Sonata, which opens the wall to a passageway leading to Dr. Birkin's lab. At this point, he tells Jill that he works for Umbrella and he leaves the team behind. Jill returns to help the squad. Leon is at the RPD where zombies begin to crowd the front gate, and Chief Brian Irons, after a failed escape, tells Claire and Leon that they can escape the city via helicopter, and he tries calling Brad Vickers, who is unresponsive. Chief Irons tells them they can escape through the orphanage, which has a secret passageway leading to the Spencer mansion. Claire and Leon find the passageway and they find evidence of Umbrella's involvement in the outbreak. Wesker finds Dr. Birkin in his lab and demands that he hand over the G-Virus. Birkin refuses and raises a gun and Wesker shoots him. While on the ground, Birkin injects himself with the G-Virus and Annette picks up the gun Birkin had and Wesker shoots and kills her. Jill and Chris arrive and Jill shoots Wesker. They grab the G-Virus case and get Sherry to come with them. As they're beginning their escape, they hear Dr. Birkin roaring and Chris volunteers to go back to hold him off. Chris finds Dr. Birkin, who is now mutated with a large right arm, and starts to attack him. Leon and Claire show up at the last second and Claire shoots Dr. Birkin several times to put him down. They escape to meet up with Jill and Sherry at the Umbrella escape train. While escaping, the train is attacked by a further mutated Dr. Birkin, who is ultimately killed by Leon with a rocket launcher that he found in first class.
A rocket launcher? Found it in first class.
The team escapes the city as it's annihilated. We then get a post-credit scene of Albert Wesker waking up in a body bag. A mysterious woman enters the room and Wesker is confused because he thought he was dead. The woman explains that she gave him an injection and Wesker mentions he can't see anything and is told that's a side effect. She hands him a pair of dark black sunglasses which he puts on. He asks her who she is and she responds, Wong, Ada Wong.
This whole town's been poisoned.
Claire Redfield is played by Kaya Scodelario and is the lead in this film. While this is a little variation of her storyline, she does a good job as a concerned sister returning to her hometown to warn her brother of Umbrella.
Get behind me!
Chris Redfield is played by Robbie Amell and is the second lead. I think he's the most well-played and believable character in this movie compared to his video game counterpart in terms of overall appearance. I also felt his personality was similar to the in-game Chris as well.
I really want to get out of this town.
Leon Kennedy is played by Ivan Yogia and in my opinion is the most disappointing character in this film. Not to any fault of his own, as I think he played his given role well and could have been a really good Leon, but his role suffered from poor writing and limited screen time.
Run! Hey!
You snooze, you lose.
What?
Still sandwich now.
Jill Valentine is played by Hannah John Kamen and is another role that suffers from a lack of screen time. Most fans would have liked Jill to have a larger role in the movie, but unfortunately there's only so much screen time. I think she played the role well overall.
Really?
What?
Someone should confiscate that. I'm not really offering you a choice.
Albert Wesker is played by Tom Hopper. While I don't think fans feel he was a bad Wesker, I think their frustrations lie in the change to his story and noticeable lack of slick back hair. His story was slightly altered from the games, but the overall arch was still there.
Honey, we need need to go now.
William Birkin was played by Neil McDonough. I think that he played his role well, but there was some missed opportunities again due to lack of screen time. I was impressed by the CGI of his mutation, and I felt he brought an emotional element with Chris, which made the first mutation encounter feel refreshing and new.
This is my life's work. I'm not giving it to anybody.
Lock the gates.
Chief Brian Irons was played by Donald Lowe. I thought he played the role of the self-serving, I only care for myself police chief whose first instinct is to flee the city at the first sign of trouble very well.
Vickers, this is Chief Irons. Pick up your damn radio!
Overall, I liked the cast. I thought they did a wonderful job of bringing to life the characters that I love. They weren't perfect, and there were plenty of situations where there was rough writing or just a lack of screen time, but I feel they were the most true to the series representation that we've gotten, and it was nice to see that. This film is loaded with game references, whether it's both the Spencer Mansion and Raccoon Police Department being one-to-one replicas of the in-game locations, in-game products, or fantastic recreations of a few iconic scenes. There are game references all over the place and should bring joy to any Resident Evil fan. I find myself telling people that this movie is not perfect, but is the most true to the series we've received, and that is how I feel. I didn't prefer that they combined the storylines of the first and second game, but I think the way that they aligned them played well together. The changes they made were refreshing to keep you not entirely sure of what they were going to do next, but not so much so that you're lost. Many reviews claim it suffered from trying to tell two different stories in such a short time, which is true at times, and occasional poor writing, but that doesn't derail the movie. Seeing Raccoon City in such a realistic light was amazing. Seeing the characters interact with each other in a more personal manner was really nice and helped you actually care more for them and their personal struggles. I think it helps shed a lot of light on these people beyond just them being people in a zombie outbreak. So as I said, this movie is not perfect, but it's a nice reboot for the series. Between the game references and getting to know the characters we all love so much, it's really nice to finally see some fan service, even if you didn't feel it was perfect, which I think lines up with the game series because after all, it's not perfect, but we love it for that. It's a B-rated horror game with silly dialogue and chilling moments lurking around the corner, unique characters with their own stories, and a city that even though it gets destroyed, it will not be forgotten. While I hope we get a sequel to this movie, there are a few things I'd like to see on a second time around. I would like for them to pick one storyline and stick to it. Now that the foundation of the story and characters has been laid, we don't need them to play catch-up. My original hope was that they would make Resident Evil 3 or Code Veronica the follow-up, and apparently the director had mentioned he would like to make a Code Veronica or Resident Evil 4 movie next. I would hope that they would make a Code Veronica next, and that seems the most likely considering how Claire and Chris were the two main characters in this movie, and they're also the two main characters in Code Veronica. Wesker also played a role in that game as well, so they would have plenty of returning cast members. I think Resident Evil 4's story, location, and enemies would be more difficult, however they would bring back Leon and Ada. But Code Veronica would certainly line up better with how Welcome to Raccoon City was made, so that would be my choice for a sequel. How did you feel about Welcome to Raccoon City? Did it live up to your expectations? Was there enough fan service for you? Would you like a sequel? And if so, what would you want? Please comment below to let me know. I appreciate you watching my video. Please help support my channel by liking and sharing this video, and if you'd like more content, then please consider subscribing. I look forward to reading your comments. Have a great day.